What is going on, you guys? Welcome to the Sillzcast. I'm your host, Sillz. Today, I am joined by the Nutrition Narc. Now, if you're somebody who's been following me since the jump, you'll know who this is because we used to have a lot of back and forth stitches back and forth on TikTok. But we're here now. Blake, thanks for coming on, man.
Yeah, of course, bro. I'm here to squash the beef. I'm kidding. No, I'm always like, even with everyone I like go back and forth with on social media, I always try to keep it like super casual, never like attack like their character or anything like that. Like, it's all just opinions at the end of the day. Like, I'm open to being wrong as well. And I don't really take this shit that serious. And like, so like, you seem like a pretty cool guy, like regardless of what like our opinions are, and we can, have an adult conversation and maybe even like a debate, So I try to keep it pretty like friendly regardless. I've had like a bunch of other people just like you who I've like gone back and forth with, and they're like, oh, you're actually like a cool guy. Like, I assume you want like the best for everyone just like I do. So I kind of try to keep it chill.
Dude, deadass, sometimes like I've seen some of your videos come up on my feed and you'll say something I disagree with and I'll be like, oh, here he goes again. And then you'll just say something fucking hilarious and I'll just lose my shit. I'll be like, all right.
Yeah. So it's not that serious. And I feel like I've been wrong before and many times. So it's like, I'm open to new ideas. I love when people like stitch my stuff and like come at it with like a counterpoint. And I try to keep it lighthearted too. It's not that serious.
I feel like that's important, like being able to recognize when you're wrong and also not taking stuff too serious. Because I feel like if you take stuff too serious, you're not going to last on TikTok in today's landscape.
100%. Like, I was wrong. Like, in quite a big way, like maybe a month ago or so. And I just made a follow-up video. And I was like, oh, shit, I was wrong. Like, I read more studies, read more information. And it looks like something I'd believed for like a long time didn't end up being true. So I just like redacted my statement. I was like, okay, it looks like this is the way now. And I look up to other people who are like that as well. Because if you legit want like the best information out there, like you don't want to be like stuck in your ways and never change your opinion because you're just then you're biased,
Yeah, and that's the crazy thing because with nutrition, I mean, a lot of people won't admit this, but it's such a complex topic. There's so much information, there's so much unknown, and there's so much information that we do know, but nobody knows it all. So you can it's okay to believe something and then be exposed to more information and be like, okay, I've changed my opinion on this.
Yeah, like 100%. And there's so many like little nuances where they could be like, oh, you're right here, but what about this like special case? And they're like, oh, well, I guess I don't count for that special case. I guess you're right in that sense. So I feel you.
Yeah, man. You got those commenters on TikTok. No matter what you post, they're gonna find something to pick an argument about.
Yeah, TikTok is like the Wild West when it comes to comments. I think it's just how like the For You page is set up where like your stuff gets blasted out to like everyone. So like every once in a while, like a video will hit a different like For You page. You'll get like a completely new like subsection of people commenting on your stuff. And like I remember doing a video back in the day about like how broccoli was more protein per calorie than steak.
I stitched that.
Yeah, I think that was one of ours. Yeah, and it got like crazy wild. And like there are great arguments to both sides. And I was like, oh, like I didn't even think about it like that serious when I made the video because like it definitely is true in some cuts of steak. Like if you get a fatty ribeye, there's definitely more protein per calorie like in broccoli. But obviously, you're not going to get like your main source of protein is not going to be from broccoli because you would have to eat like a ton of it, and it's not like a complete protein. But like you can complete it other ways. So this goes back to what we were talking about with like all the nuances and like the little details and stuff.
Yeah, it's crazy because I was actually going to bring that up because. Something that I made a video recently where I was talking about how broccoli low key is like, I'm not going to say a protein source, but like calorie for calorie, if you actually look at where the calories are coming from, it's just fiber and protein. So like if we're talking about like satiety and whatnot, broccoli is pretty solid from that standpoint. But yeah, then there's the piece of not a complete protein. You're not going to get any substantial amount of protein for, hitting your protein goal from broccoli.
Yeah.
And then, the bioavailability is not there either. So, I mean, you can look at it from a bunch of different lenses.
Yeah, that's like what I just posted it because like I would at the time I would probably make like 5 or 6 videos a day. So I was like, oh, I saw this little graphic that like protein or broccoli was more protein per calorie than steak. I was like, oh, let me just like run with it, post a video like, oh, maybe something a lot of people didn't know. And I swear, like today, that might be like my most controversial video ever. Like I would get comments 3 to 6 months, like stitches 3 to 6 months after I posted about that. It was wild. That one, and I made a video where like saying The Rock wasn't natural. And no, like those two videos are like my most like wild ones where like with the Rock one, people are like, you don't understand. He's like black and Samoan. Like, just tell me, like those call me like white boy and like Asian and all that stuff. So like those two definitely got on like a different style For You page. And I heard every single like argument for both of those. Is hilarious.
sometimes when you post, you just right away, like it's this hit or it didn't. And like you were saying, like sometimes you just see something and you have an idea and you just post it. You don't really think anything of it. And then within like 10 minutes, you're humbled. These people are just like, you're wrong, or you're right. So sometimes it can be crazy and you can be like, oh, maybe I was wrong.
Yeah, I remember coming home like after I posted the rock video and I probably had like 20 stitches or so of just people like, no, or like it just all different.
They were saying he
like,
was.
Yeah,
they were saying he was natty.
If you go on that video, I would have to find it, but like the majority of the comments are probably like, you don't know what you're talking about. He's natural. He works harder than you. He wakes up at 4 a.m. He has Sunday cheat meals. He's black and Samoan. Like every excuse in the book. Like I think that page or that video got on like the general public's like For You page.
Right.
So
not
like
people who don't really know gym. Yeah.
Exactly. Like we don't realize just being in the gym so much and being around it is like, this is not an accurate representation of the general population. Like the general population, legit, if you probably polled like POLLED, like the general population, I would say above 50% would think he was natural. Like they're just like, they have no idea.
That is true. And I think something that's kind of crazy that I thought about with TikTok is you kind of get into this box where like you see your For You page so much, you see all these people. And so I was starting to think like, wow, everybody is going to the gym nowadays. Like everybody's working out, everybody's shredded. And then I realized, like, I look around outside, that's just like not the case. It's just, that's all I see on my For You page.
That's so funny you say that because I think I have a video in my drafts that says exactly that. Like I thought the exact same thing because seeing all these like kids, these teenagers on TikTok, like in the gym, blah, blah, blah. I'm like, oh, like the gym scene is exploding. Like it's, becoming more popular than when I was younger. Like how long have you been lifting?
Since 2018.
2018, so 4 years. Yeah.
4 or 5 years.
So I've been lifting about 8 years. So like I thought it exploded in growth, but then I just realized like, oh, this is just everything I see on my feed and my page. Like the gyms aren't really any more packed than they used to be. It's kind of all the same stuff. It's just like you're right, we live in this small little bubble, this small little box that like we only see what is like curable for us. So it gives us like a warped perception of reality. And it's just like, I bet it's like, if anything, gym like memberships are probably gone down because people just keep getting like fatter and like more obese. I don't know if that's 100%. True, but like I think we're like trending. It's not like we have a crazy health like kick lately, especially with like COVID. Yeah, I guarantee we got like more obese the past couple of years.
Yeah, and I think for a lot of people that can be kind of an issue when you get into that like body dysmorphia talk. Because you got all these people talking about like they're not comfortable with their physique because they're probably looking at a bunch of people seeing like, wow, this is like the standard. Like sometimes I do it. I'm looking like, damn, like everybody's at like 8% body fat year round. And then you're like, you have to remind yourself, like you look around your surroundings. Like I get called small all the time. Really? All the time. People call me small. Yeah, dude. Like people will be like, oh, you're not that big. And then like sometimes I got to remind myself like, all right, like, these are people on the internet and,
no, 100%. It's that and strength too. Like strength, like every single 19-year-old now benches 315 and deadlifts like mid 500s. You know what I'm saying? So, So like I have to remind myself of that too all the time because I'll see these like genetic freaks 24/7 on my For You page just putting up ungodly numbers and be like, this is not normal. Like if you go to any gym, like you're probably like one of the strongest guys there. It's just like that. Those are the people that you see.
Yeah, it's pretty nuts. It's pretty much nuts what TikTok is kind of just done in general. I think it's a really good thing in general just because you think if you look at the creators on TikTok, the people who are really successful within the fitness space, like guys from like a technical perspective, you look at guys like TNF, JPG, people who really, really, really know their shit, not just from like reciting what other people have said standpoint, but like knowing anatomy, knowing chemistry, like really knowing kind of a very holistic view of fitness and nutrition. I think that comes about because back on YouTube, right, when YouTube was the big thing, it was like if you had the balls to take out a camera and you wanted to invest in that and start a YouTube channel, you were a cool dude. You'd probably get some pretty good traction. But like nowadays, like everybody's doing it and there's so much competition that like the weak get weeded out and you get left with people who are just providing insane value. And I think that's a good thing.
No, I agree. Like the competition nowadays is insane. Like I can't tell you how many people, like every time, like I've been to Alphalanda, Texas twice now. And every time I go, like you'll talk to like a random person, like, I've never seen this person before, like whatever, like I don't know who you are. I'll go up and talk to them or like whatever. And like every time they'll have like 20 or 30K at least on like TikTok, Instagram, or like YouTube. Like they're just all all influencers, and obviously that's like hyper focused there. But even like in
Yeah.
gyms, where I live, I see people, posting, and like I go to the gym with like another fitness influencer, and I just go to like a normal gym, like kind of down the street, and it just like so happens to be, he makes that hard style music, and I was like, oh, this is super random. Like I've seen you before, and yeah, everyone's filming themselves in the gym. But yeah, you're right. The a lot do get weeded out. That's another thing that surprised me as well is how many people in like the creator space just post like their physique and like motivational quotes or like just do like
Right.
edits to their physique. It's like how long, like how far is this gonna take you? Like you have to have some sort of substance. Like if you look at everyone, like you were naming JPG or like TNF or any huge creator, they like talk to the camera. They have like some substance. They have like a personality, or they provide value, like TNF and JPG. And I think that's what we see like a lot of like popular creators now is like kind of switching towards is like more knowledge based or personality. Like you're probably familiar
Right.
with like Will Tennyson on YouTube or like
Yeah.
Jesse
Yeah.
James West. Like they're not
Yep.
the biggest guys like at all. They're not the strongest, but they have like for both of them they have like great personality. They make like great videos, like enticing to watch, entertaining. Like gone are the days of who was it back in the day when I would start watching? It would be like Cali Muscle, Beast Mode Jones,
Yeah.
Chris Jones, and just like whoever was like the biggest at the time. Was just that was like the fitness influencer space back then. And it's nice to see like a
Yeah.
change because I think that's just like obviously they're providing like better content and stuff now.
Yeah, and I feel like basically what it comes down to is you need an X factor, whether it be your knowledge, whether it be your personality, whether it be your
Something
humor,
different.
something that's different. Because there are so many people that are just coming out here and just doing the trends. Like I see people blowing up with the trends, and like they have a ton of followers, and like they're just kind of doing the trends.
Mm-hmm.
But like, I it doesn't really
Last.
go anywhere.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's hard to maintain that. So
Yeah, do you know the dude like Lord Trunks? Or like one of those dudes, like you said, they'll do the trends and just like the screaming, the yelling, or just like funny little memes. And then they'll just do it like over and over and over for like ever. Just the same like video with the same sound. And it's like they've got like a
yeah,
huge following now, but yeah, like you said, I don't know how long it's gonna last. Like it
it's tough, man.
that's what you'll see. You'll see someone have like a million followers on like TikTok, and then like they'll have like a YouTube channel and they'll get like less than 1,000 views over there. It's like, whoa, this is
Yeah.
crazy. Like the conversion rate is not like large at all. So I guess that goes to show like again, you need to provide like some sort of value, some sort of like personality, some sort of factor.
Yeah, exactly. Yo, so you mentioned going down to Alpha Land. So I saw that on your page. You went
Hmm.
down a couple times, I think. And
Hmm.
like you said, you were collaborating with a ton of dudes. So like, first of all, like what were you doing down there? Like, secondly, just what was that experience like?
Yeah, so I've been down there twice. Once in I think it was October for summer shredding. I didn't even really realize it, but at the time, one of my friends like Aaron Enders and Baxter Fit, they had Aaron lives there now, and he used to live like near Baxter, and like we're all kind of good homies. And Aaron just moved down to Houston at the time, and he's like, "Yo, you guys could come out like whenever. Let's like let's plan it." And I was like, "Okay, yeah, like I've always wanted to go. This will give me like an excuse." And Baxter was like, "Oh, let's go for like summer shredding." And that this was in I think October, and I was like, let's go like a different time because like it's gonna be packed. Like, there's gonna be way too many people. We're not gonna be able to work out. And then like they ended up having like a ton of people going, so obviously we couldn't reschedule. And I was like, whatever, I'm just gonna go anyways, and I stay with my buddy Aaron. So that's how it happened. And I went in there, and I went in kind of like alone the first day, which is crazy, just like by myself. And I was like, oh, let me get a workout in. Maybe I'll meet some friends later or whatever. I ended up meeting like a ton of people, a lot of people from like the Echo Vision team, like a bunch of homies like
Right, right.
Baxter Fit, just like the CEO M, and then like I met like my good friend Noah too, and he like I didn't even know who he was at the time. He was like, yo, like I've stitched your videos before, and then we ended up becoming like really good friends. He helped me film like a lot of videos that he let me use his camera, which is super nice of him. And then we've been like
Yeah.
great friends ever since, and we all like keep in contact pretty much on the daily. But yeah, the gym in there is pretty wild. There's like, have you ever been? I don't think so. No.
No, I've not.
So there's like three gyms total. So there's like gym one, two, and three. One of them, the first one is inside. It's kind of has pretty much like everything you need. All the equipment there is like pretty. It's brand new and it's all like pretty good stuff. Like there's a bunch of machines like you never use. If you ever go to like a Planet Fitness, you'll be like, what the hell is this like weird
Right,
ass
right.
thing sitting in the corner no one's gonna use? So that's like gym one. And they're actually all pretty small too. Like if you've ever been to a Lifetime Fitness or Equinox or one of those are all bigger than this than Alpha Land for
Really?
sure. Yeah.
The whole complex?
No, I would just say like individually gyms. Like the
Gotcha.
first gym is nothing like crazy, not big at all. Like maybe it's like one of the rooms and maybe like a 24-hour fitness or something like that. And so that was like gym one. They have cardio equipment upstairs, and They only had like 12 treadmills and maybe like 4 stair steppers. So that just goes to show the size. And that's like gym
Yeah.
one. They have a bunch of squat racks and then like dumbbells, maybe like not even that many benches either. Maybe like six maximum, 6 or 7. Then they have gym two, which is just like a hallway away, and that one's really cool because that's kind of in. It's like a open like layout, so they have like big garage door style doors that they like roll up during the summertime. So like you can go out there, you can like take your shirt off. They have like music blasting. That one's a little bigger, but it has a like older equipment. It's still like good equipment though, but it's definitely like from the 90s or something. And they've got like
Uh-huh.
dumbbells, more benches out there. And then they have a couple posing rooms out there. And then in gym three is like a tiny one. I would consider it kind of like a hotel gym. And they just have like more posing rooms in there. And then they got like a basketball court out there. And I think they got a football field as well. So yeah, that's kind of
That's
like
crazy.
how it looks. Yeah, I remember first time going there, I thought it was gonna be a lot bigger. I was like, "Whoa, this is it!" Like, it's not
It
that
looks it
it's
looks enormous.
yeah, it looks insane. No, it's like yeah, you'll when you go one day, you'll be surprised. Like, oh, well, these are all like three like decent sized gyms, nothing insane though, but they have pretty much like most pieces of equipment you could want. I think they're still adding stuff, which is really cool. It's nice to see like gyms that keep their stuff updated. Like when I went the first time, there wasn't even like a pendulum squat. Have you heard of those? It's kind of like the
Yeah.
hot new thing
Yeah,
going
yeah.
around, and they didn't even have one of those. And it's like, whoa, I thought this gym was
Oh
supposed to have
wow.
like literally everything. But other than that, they have like a cafeteria, which is pretty small, but it's cool. They got like some food there with some expensive protein options. Like I think like
Right, yeah.
meals. I didn't realize like how cheap Houston was in general, but there was like normal price. It was like $12 for a meal or something like that, or like $8 for a protein shake. And that food was pretty good. They've got like a place there where you could edit and just like film videos, or just like they got
Damn.
like a little station where you can charge your computer or whatever. Then they've got like a tiny little store in the front too that sells like Alpha Elite products and stuff like that. That's
That's
kind of
pretty
what
dope.
it's like. And there's a like pretty much everyone there is filming too, which is cool
Right.
because it makes you like not feel insecure about yourself filming. Because I don't
Yeah.
really film at my gym just because like it's just a
Yeah.
normal gym. Like people be looking at me, but there like everyone's filming. Everyone's like, for me at least, it was everyone was super nice. I'd be like, oh, you want to like make a video together? Just like go up to some randoms. And they're like, oh yeah, of course. Everyone's pretty much down to film and they understand like content. So it's not. And that part was really cool for me because like I said, I would feel nervous like filming in my own gym. But there, it's like no one cares because everyone's doing it.
Damn. Yeah, I mean, so with everybody filming like that, does it get kind of like congested in terms of, trying to use the machines and whatnot?
So when I went during summer shredding, it was insanely packed
I feel like
because
everybody and their mother was there that
yeah,
weekend.
everyone was there. Like people had flown. Like pretty much everyone you talked to was from out of town. Like 90% of the people were from out of town. Obviously, I was too. So it was pretty packed there that day. We didn't get like many good workouts in just because we'd get like distracted or something. But then when I went the second time, it was just like normal like hours, like nothing. Like it was no special event, and it was honestly surprisingly just not packed. Like you could easily get every single machine you wanted or every single bench. Like especially because they have so many different like benches in the squat rack, so you never really had to wait too long for one during like normal hours. And I would go at like peak time, like 7 or 8, like dinner time, and yeah, no problem waiting for anything. But even then, there was still like people filming and stuff like that. Just not as congested.
Right. And so you said with like people coming from out of town, because you got people who are legit like dropping what they're doing and moving to
Yes. Yeah.
like suburban Houston. Which is crazy that like Christian Guzman has had that effect on the fitness industry, that he in his hometown just opened a gym, and now if that's the place to go, people, it's almost like the going to Hollywood back in the day. They're going
Yeah.
down to Houston and trying to strike it big.
No, I've thought about that as well. Like that must be a crazy feeling to be like, whoa, people like are moving here for my gym. I remember when I first,
Crazy.
because I've been following Christian forever, and I remember when he first announced, he's like, oh, we're gonna have like a hotel on site, all this stuff. I'm like, this is dumb as shit. Who's gonna fly in for a gym? And now I've done that multiple times, and I can totally see where he's coming from for sure.
Yeah, he's got insane ambition for the thing, and like it, all power to him, because it really. I was watching his podcast with I think Bradley Martin, and he was just talking about how he's not even close to
Done.
what
Yeah.
he's trying to accomplish. But I
Yeah.
mean, he's been going for he was like in the entire YouTube era as well, and so I'm pretty excited to see what he comes up with going forward.
Yeah, I didn't even realize like till the second time I went there that's not even like close to finish, like you were saying. He's just like
Yeah.
getting started, still adding stuff, like still upgrading, doing a ton of different things. Yeah, and I watched him back on YouTube, like back in the day, before he even opened his first gym. And when he had his like first girlfriend, Nikki Blackadder, oh, those are the days, those are old school. Yeah, very impressive. You'll have to make it down there one day.
Yeah,
if you have a
yeah.
bunch of other like influencer friends or like that you could collaborate with, tell them to go too and be like, oh yeah, show up one of these days or show up for like summer shredding, and like everyone will be there. Like everywhere you look, there's like people you see on your For You page.
Yeah, definitely got to make. I think that's gonna be on my list for 2023. So when you go down there, is Guzman just like, is he always chilling there, or did you see him when you were down there?
I saw him both times. I think he's like kind of running around doing a bunch of different stuff. There's like a
Really?
whole different subsection that is like kind of employees only, and there's offices and places like that. So I think he obviously chills there most of the time, and that's
Interesting.
not like open to the public. But every once in a while, he'll like come out for, I don't know, whatever. I saw his dad is pretty much there working out every day, just out like with everyone else.
Really?
So that's cool. I
That's
saw him
awesome.
both times there, just like various times, like especially for when I went for summer shredding, he was like doing like a meet and greet and like some sort of like announcements and like stuff like that. So he was around for sure. Yeah, I remember when he pulled up, he was like filming for, I don't even know what he was filming for, but he had like a full ass film crew. Like a guy with like a over the shoulder of the camera. They had like lights, they had like boom mics and everything. Like it was some sort of like Hollywood production. It was insane.
Damn, damn, that's crazy. You probably see a lot of that down there.
Yeah, mostly just people with like handheld DSLR cameras, and like
Yeah,
that's it. That was the first time I've seen like a legit like over like one of those over the shoulder cameras. I was
yeah,
like, holy
that's
shit,
crazy.
dropped a bag for that thing.
Damn. So on that note of you going to Alpha Land, I guess not on that note, but recently you did make a video where you kind of went over quitting your job, leaving your job to do TikTok full time. And I kind of noticed back in the day, because you used to put out volume, you would put out
Yeah,
like 10 videos a day, and I have a full time job, so I remember seeing you, and I was like, dude, like either this guy doesn't have a job or like, or he's just grinding. So talk me through like managing the two, and also like the process of quitting,
yeah, of course. So yeah, I
getting that
did put
point.
out volume. I don't think I ever put out 10, but I remember doing six I would at least
Still a
six
lot.
videos a day, which is still a ton. I mean, they wouldn't be anything crazy like long or anything, but basically, I got my job in June, and I did nothing for like a year straight besides work and just like do TikTok. Like I didn't do really go out with my friends. I didn't do any other shit. So, like to give you like a schedule, I had to be to work at 8, and it was like 35 minutes
Oh,
away
you were in person?
in person, 100% in person.
No way.
100%, yeah. So,
Wow.
and I had a 35-minute commute. So I would wake up at 7, roll out of bed, get in my truck, and drive to work. And I would legit probably get there 5 to like 7 minutes early, and I would park around the corner, and I would pop up some videos, and I'd film some real quick. So usually I could get out like one good video before I went into work, maybe one or two or so.
Damn.
And I would go, so like that would usually like post it right away or do something like that. And so that was that. I would, get to work at 8 and kind of like honestly, my job wasn't too bad. I was an assistant project manager at a construction company. So it was pretty chill, mostly like low key. Like I wasn't like being called left and right all the time. Like some days during, like I was able to edit some videos during the day. And so my schedule was 8 to 4, and I would have about like a 40-minute lunch. So I would post usually twice in the morning, and then I would go to lunch, and every single day I would drive. I'd be like, all right, I'm going for a walk, and I would eat. I would eat a little bit, and I would drive like around the corner in my truck, and I would recline my seat and take like a 12-minute nap because I was so tired. I would set my timer
Damn.
and take a 12-minute nap. Usually wake up, and I would record maybe one or two more videos right then as well. Yeah, if you look at all like my early videos, they're like all in my truck. That's pretty much like all when I was at work. And so I would do that, go back to work, and then I would get off work at 4 p.m. and drive like 35 minutes home. Try to get to the gym by 5. Usually gym from like 5 to 7 or so, like between warm up, talking to friends, stuff like that. Usually get home at like 7:15, 7:30. Then I would cook, eat, and then it would be like 8 to 10 would be like my free time. So I would pretty much just like make videos that whole time, like respond to comments, do everything I needed, and then I would be in bed by 10 and awake at 7 the next morning. So I took sleep like super seriously. So pretty much at any free time I had, like I said, I would be editing videos, making videos, just like browsing, looking for content. So back then my focus was obviously highly on like volume, and I feel really lucky because now I don't think that would work anymore. Like now my
Right.
quality is like so much higher as far as like content and just like the actual stuff I'm putting out that I don't think I could get away with that sort of like low effort videos anymore. Because before I would just like pop on like TikTok and record like 60 seconds to just like upload it. I wasn't worried about like audience retention or just like keeping things fast paced or like the perfect like video. Now I'm like much more like observant of that, and I try to make my videos like really quick, really fast paced. Like people's attention
Yeah.
span is so short nowadays, like high quality. So that was like my, as far as like my filming process would go. Like one of my videos, I would try to upload I think at least 5 times a day. A bunch of them would be duets, some of them would be like stitches, you know, some of them would be original content, like what I eat in a day. So like I remember I did like a month straight of every single thing I ate for that month. That was exhausting. That was tiring. That was just annoying filming.
Damn.
Like I got so tired of filming my
Holy
everything
shit.
I
I can
ate.
barely do a day, dude.
Yeah.
It's tough doing this.
You know how many times I've started a day, forgot like 3 meals in, and then had to
Dude.
scrap the whole thing? It's like, oh shit, I forgot.
Dude, it's like sometimes you just want to like you want to do something a little bit off course. Like you don't want to cook a full meal. You just want to have a little snack. But it's like you gotta have the full meal.
Yeah.
It can be tough, man. Sometimes I've made like 4 attempts at one full
Yeah.
day.
Yeah, like you said, you just like forget. So that was that. And then as far as like quitting my job and the process from that goes, so pretty early on, I was lucky enough because I knew when I started like doing TikTok and like got some sort of like a following that I would want to be with like 2 companies. And that was Gorilla Mode and Peace Science. And just because I've been like fans of them forever, like I'd used their product for the longest time. So obviously those are gonna be the companies I want to work with. And I remember hitting up Peace Science like early on and be like, yo, I'd love to like, do you have any affiliate program, like all this stuff? They were like, oh no, we don't have anything now. Like we don't have any applications open. But they did have some sort of like affiliate link, like rewards program where you could link to their site and then get like $10 off like your next order or something like that. I'm like, all right, I'll do this in the meantime and then, you know, see how things go. And I did that, of course, over time. And then I got really lucky and one of my recipe videos got like 2 million views. And obviously,
Yeah.
like, and I linked like my code there or like the little affiliate link. And I think I remember getting like 150 orders or so, which is a ton. And then, of course, after that, I was like, yo, I seem to be making like some sales with your code. Like, can I become like a full time affiliate and actually like get paid for this stuff? And they're like, okay, yeah, of course. So like I convinced them right away, which was really nice because I've been like wanting that for a little bit. And so that got me on right there. I was earning commission, and then just over time, I would like keep doing recipes, keep doing videos, and I would like sell more and more and more. And basically, they offered me a salary, and then I just accepted that. And over like the times, I've increased my salary quite a bit since I first started, which is awesome because that's like obviously like secured money the first of every month. Like it's like
Oh wow.
that's the best thing for me is salary because obviously it
You get a
doesn't
base
like
pay.
yeah, I get a base pay, so it doesn't like
Nice.
wage or it doesn't like differ from month to month. So that's awesome, just for like my own
Yeah,
like
security.
security and just knowing I have like rent paid, all that kind
Yeah.
of stuff. So that was that, and at the same time, obviously, I was reaching out to like Gorilla Mode, and they were saying like, oh, you just need to get a little bigger. Like we want to see you grow on other platforms, blah blah blah. And I probably reached out to them like 4 times over maybe like 6 months, and they would always say like the same thing, same thing. And I was like, okay, like this is who I really want to be with. Like I'm just gonna keep like grinding until my goal was to like, oh, let me quit my job because I knew it was coming. I was like, let me quit my job and then I will, you know, reach out or like expand out to other platforms and then like I'll go back to them. And then after like a couple months, like I hadn't heard from them, they just emailed me one day and were like, yo, like I was talking about you in like a meeting and we got you like sponsored and like we want to send you out like all these products and we want to get you like onboarded with the team. I was like, oh no way.
Man.
Like I had kind of like not gave up on them, but I was like, oh, let me, you know, reach back out in a couple months when I have more time to like grow other platforms. And so that was obviously like amazing. And those are the 2 companies I've been with long term that like are reoccurring, obviously. And so that's like a huge portion of my income as well. And then I also do every once in a while I'll do a sponsored post, and with those I try to have them be a company I like really believe in. So like right now I'm
Right.
doing 4 posts for Quest. Like you've obviously heard of Quest, right? They make like
Yeah.
amazing stuff. Like their chips are incredible. Their like Quest Hero bars are insane. Like they make really good products. So that's kind of who I try to reach out to work with. So like I said, when I was working, I did have like a little bit of downtime. So whenever I do that, I would either like edit videos or I would email brands, and I would email like brand after brand after brand, and I would be like, yo, like this is who I am, this is kind of what I do. I would love to, you know, get some product to review. And then if it was a company I really believed in, like Quest, I'd be like, I'd love to, you know, work with you. I've done videos about your products in the past that I've done well. People like my audience seems to be very responsive and like understanding of your guys' audience, and I would love to like collaborate and like work together. And then over the time of doing that, I've built up some like relationships like with Quest. I've been working with them for like probably 6 7 months, and they're just like, okay, we have like a campaign that gets you, you know, you do 4 posts and then like we'll re-up after that. So that's been like growing too, which is nice because that's like
Oh
a
wow.
base page, just like a price for video. And so just like doing all of that kind of stuff, I was able to kind of reach my like earn almost as much as I made at my full time job, and sometimes even I think a couple months even a little more in my take home pay. So I was like, okay,
Wow.
like this is obviously like something that's serious and kind of long term. I would love to take this full time just because I would like I'm very passionate about it. It's something that's like super fun to me. Like it's just kind of like who I am. I don't really want to like work for anyone. I would love to try to take this to the next level. And then I knew it was coming, and I was like, okay, I guess I want to do it, so I guess I gotta have that like tough conversation with like my boss, and because like no one there knew, like no one at my job knew. They were all I was the youngest one there by like 20 years or so, and
Wow.
yeah, so like obviously they have no idea, and I don't bring it up or talk about it ever. So yeah, I remember pulling like my boss aside and was like, yo, can I have like a meeting with you? And he's like, yeah, of course. He's a very nice guy. And he was like, and I basically just explained to him like everything I've been doing, and he was the owner as well, so he kind of understands like entrepreneurship and all this kind of deal. So
Mhm.
I explained to him everything I was doing, like how it's like grown over the past year, like beyond like what I could have ever imagined. And I was like, I feel like this is kind of like a golden opportunity in my life to kind of take a chance and try to go full time with this, and really take it to the next level. And he totally understood and was like, oh dang, like you're a super like good employee, like this is a bummer to hear, but I'm like happy for you and I like support you. So I ended up working. I was like, I want to put in my 2 weeks, but like if you need me longer, like out of respect for you, I'll stay pretty much as long as you need me if you need to onboard someone else. So I stayed for I think 3 weeks or another month, I can't remember. So I basically stayed like another 3 weeks, and then I was out of there, and then everything
Damn.
on my own. And as soon as I was able to go on my own, I noticed like my quality like increased like vastly. Like I was able like I would never now I would never upload the videos I used to upload, like the super low effort ones, like and so now everything changed. I just have more time to do everything. I've like expanded to other platforms. I started uploading like YouTube shorts, and just like I finally got like an Instagram and stuff like that. So yeah, it's been great. So I'm just like this life is like so nice, not having a 9 to 5 or like an 8 to 4. Like I had that like I need to do like everything in my power to keep it, because it's just like it makes me so happy, and I just like love what I do, and I have to keep it. Like I can't fumble and go back to a regular day job.
Yeah, man.
So that's
That's
kind
epic,
of
man.
yeah.
I'm happy for you, man. That's really cool stuff to hear. And I mean, I think that's insane. So you mean to tell me until you quit your job, which wasn't that long ago, you were working an in-person job the whole time?
In-person job the whole time, yes. The whole time from
That
like yeah, in-person job 8 to 4. Yep.
Wow, that's crazy. Because like, if I was thinking like if there was anybody who was like consistently on my For You page, it just seemed like you were always on TikTok. So
I
that's
definitely
wild.
took the volume route. And like I said, like it's evolved so much now. Like most of the videos we see are like filmed with like a DSLR, Like back in the
Right.
day, like
Yeah.
no one filmed with a DSLR.
Just
And I
phone. Yeah.
yeah, just a phone. I could not get away with it now. I'm super grateful I started when I did. And even like back then, my growth was like so much stronger than it is now. I just think there's so many people out there that like, yeah,
So many.
I used to get like 500 to 1,000 followers like consistently like every single day for like months on end.
Dude, I mean, you used to be able to, yeah, it was crazy. You used to be able to literally like, make a video saying, like, here's how you get shredded, eat in a calorie deficit, and hit
Yeah.
your protein, and work out hard. And then people would be like, oh, fuck, no way.
Yeah.
And then, like, now, if you said that, somebody would be like, dude, like,
Yeah.
obviously.
Yeah. That's how I felt.
Uh,
Like I got really lucky going back to like how easy it was. Like the first video I ever made got like 50,000 views. It was insane. Yeah.
yeah, dude, that's the crazy part, dude. Like, I feel like with me, when I first posted, people were telling me you should post on TikTok if you're trying to get into social media. So I was like, all right, let me give it a go. And I think I posted some dumb recipe, and like it got like I think it got like 100,000 views pretty quick, a couple days, which at the time was like because that's still like a lot
That's
of
a
views.
ton.
But like
That's a ton of views.
yeah,
I know that.
back then that was like the equivalent of like 300 million views today to me.
Yeah.
So I was just like, damn, like I think I had like 2,000 followers. I'm like, dude, I'm famous. I'm gonna keep doing this. So like the momentum from that first post is what kept me going. It was crazy.
That's funny you say that, because that's exactly how I feel. Like I don't know if I would have kept going. Like I would have liked to think I would have kept going, but I had it easy because my first video did well, and so
Yep.
like every video like after that like did like pretty decent. So I had people like commenting, and I would just respond to the comments, and it was like when you have that like success like rolling in, it's like so easy to keep
So
going.
easy.
And like I'm like a guy who like if I see an opportunity, like I'll take it. So I saw that and I was like, I'm not stopped. Like I'm like I swear to God, I don't think I've missed a day of posting since I started. No shot less.
That
I have not missed I've uploaded at least 3 videos every single day since I started. Guaranteed you can look at that. The only times
What?
is if I've gotten banned. Obviously, it doesn't count. Yeah, I don't miss days.
Three?
Even when I go on like vacation out of town, no service, I'll schedule uploads.
Dude, that is insane. I don't think there's. I could probably count on one hand the amount of times I posted more than 3 times in a day.
Really? And I
But
mean, everyone
yeah,
has their different way. For me, this is like what's worked for me in the past, and I'm like scared to change it. So like, there's
yeah.
definitely people who post once a day or twice a day or once every 3 days, and it does amazing. And I just don't want to mess up what's working, you know.
I
So
mean,
if
dude,
it works for you.
I mean, I think because with you, for the longest time, I didn't even follow you, and like you were all over the For You page. Just so, I mean, I
I've been
think,
told that so many times, so I just think I got lucky. You know, they just like pushed me out there. Like I'm not doing anything. Like it's all the algorithm. They just like me for some reason.
yeah, I mean, I think like with everything, there's an element of luck. But then again, like there was probably thousands and thousands of other people out there at the same time putting out content who obviously didn't have the same success you had. So, um,
No, I appreciate it.
it's
Yeah,
crazy though.
yeah. It was a wild day back. It was a wild place back then.
Yeah, it's changing every day. And like with you were saying trying to expand to other platforms. So like I had the same luck on Instagram. Like my first Instagram reel, because I was like, dude, I'm not posting, like I don't have any followers. What's
Yeah.
gonna happen?
So when did
So I
you start
posted it
posting reels?
like a year ago,
Okay,
probably. Like
so that's
I
pretty
didn't
early on. Yeah, I feel like that was also like the Wild West. Like TikTok was in
yeah.
the early days. Like you said, I know a ton of people just like you who started posting reels. And like they would go crazy numbers, like in overnight or whatever.
It was like that. Here's the thing. So remember we were talking about TikTok back when shit was easy as fuck?
Mm-hmm.
Reels was like that a
Mm-hmm.
year ago. So like I literally was just like and like I kind of hate that I did this, but I was making like really dumb videos. Like I was just saying shit like I would like flex and then it would be like here's how to get shredded or like here's here's some three insane sources of protein.
Yeah.
Just corny shit like that. But they would get like 2 million views. So I was like, all right, I'm gonna ride this.
Yeah, who
Um,
cares? If it's working, bro, I'll double down. I'll make the dumbest video over and over again if it's
yeah,
getting 2 million
yeah.
views.
So I figured like that was a way to just start it up, and then
Mm-hmm.
eventually shit started to slow down. I just started kind of going back to my old ways.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, that's crazy because the thing is on YouTube, I tried a YouTube short and like got 0 views, and I was
Really?
like, damn, like that was the one where I posted it, and I was like, all right, like I'm gonna need to just be consistent and post these because I didn't get the same luck that time.
Yeah. Have you been posting there like consistently?
Nah,
No.
have
Oh,
you?
that's funny because I have. I got really lucky. So I probably started, close to a year ago, maybe less than that. And I was kind of off and on. And then probably 6 months ago or so, I got like pretty serious about posting every day. Kind of, it's obviously just all my repurposed content from TikTok. And I
Right.
had one video do like a couple of videos do insanely well, and I think I'm up to like 25,000 subscribers, which was like crazy. Like YouTube subscribers are like gold to me, That's
Oh
like
yeah, yeah, yeah.
wild.
25,000's a ton, dude.
Yeah, so I've gotten really lucky over there. And obviously, I keep that going as well, and I'm just like slowly trickling in subscribers. Yeah, I had one video that got one short that got I think like 7 million views, and I probably got like
Ooh,
10,000 subscribers from that one video. I
damn.
would say so. Like we were saying, I think this is all like just early adopter advantage. Like there's not many people on the platform making content, so if
Yep.
you're there making content, like they're gonna push your video. So like TikTok
Yeah.
or when Instagram got Reels, I really wish I started Reels earlier. But yeah, when Instagram did Reels, like people go crazy for that. So I think YouTube is finally now like becoming more saturated, especially now because they announced
Oh yeah.
AdSense like last month, so they're gonna start paying creators based on like their views come February. So I think a lot of people are gonna like switch over there, or at least start to repurpose their content. It's gonna be more and more competition, but still, like, yeah, there's still a lot of people that don't do it, and it's definitely like you already made the video, you did the hard part, now you just gotta
Right.
upload it to there. So
Literally just post it.
you gotta download it without the watermark and then post it over
Yep.
there. So I've gotten lucky over there too. So just trying to keep it going. Anything I can do.
Yeah, man. Let me ask you this.
Yeah.
So you have what you say, 25,000 subscribers, mostly through shorts, right?
Yeah, all through shorts, all shorts.
So have you done any long form content?
No, and that's something I've kind of like debated like with back and forth because I would love to do long form content at some point, but I
It's
think
tough.
it's tough. It takes a lot of effort, and right now I put like all my effort into my short form content and just like growing
Right.
that. And I don't want to start like posting long form until I'm like able to be 100% consistent with it and really like get into a groove. So that's one reason.
Yeah.
And another reason is like I think short form content excuse me, is being pushed so hard right now. So with YouTube Shorts,
Right.
with TikTok, with Instagram Reels, that like they're almost rewarding you for doing the short term content. So I want to like put all like my eggs in that basket, if that makes sense, while like it's hot, and just see where I can take it and like take advantage of this opportunity, because they're clearly rewarding like my YouTube channel and like views, and they're pushing my videos to the algorithm
If it
based
ain't
on the
broke, don't
shorts.
fix it.
Yeah, exactly. And I would like to do more long form content later on down the line, like when I have more time and like consistently do and have like an audience already built up for sure. And yeah, just there's so many companies investing into short form content right now. I feel like it would be
Yeah.
stupid of me to almost like not go back in time, but do something more old school for when this is already working.
That's a good point. I never even thought about it like that. Because what I was gonna ask was, because I wondered, like, if you get the subscribers from the shorts, are they gonna almost, like you were saying, like deprioritize? Like, so when you post the long form content, what I think they might do is like you might get way less views on the long form. Like, because I know on Instagram,
Yeah.
I was getting tons of views consistently on my reels, and I posted a photo, got like, I was like, damn, because like I think they were like, nah, dude, like keep posting reels.
Yeah, they're there for like one type of content, not the other. So I've thought about that before as well. And it definitely won't be like a 1-to-1 ratio. Like if you upload shorts consistently and constantly, you won't get the same amount of views on long form content, but it will make your long form content more popular. Because I was talking, it's funny you say that, 'cause I
Right,
was talking
right.
to this dude, Dylan O'Brien. I don't know if you probably heard of him before. He does like TikToks as
Maybe.
well. He's a guy who can like flex his abs in like all different ways. You've maybe seen
I've
that
probably
video.
seen him.
Yeah,
I've probably
anyways,
seen him.
I asked him that question the other day because I was the one who put him on. I was like, dude, you better do shorts because like these things are blowing up. And since then, he gained like 20,000 subscribers, but he makes long form content as well. And I was like, yo, has your long form content like viewership increased because of your short form videos? He goes, oh yeah, pretty much like doubled. And I was like, oh whoa,
Wow.
that's cool. Like he would get like 500 views on like his long form, and now it's like 1,000. So like even though it's not like all of them, and it's not like a big percentage of your subscriber base, I think it is still worth it because some people will transfer over, and more people will see your long form content because of your short form videos.
Yeah,
So
yeah.
that's like, I guess that's kind of like a long answer, but I totally see what you're saying. I know people who on Instagram, they'll post reels like all the time, and then they'll post a picture and it won't do well at all. And I think that's just
Yeah,
because
you'll
like
see like
they're
you'll
so
see, like,
used to
and
you.
others.
Yeah, exactly. Oh, and that always cracks me up when I see they hide the like count. I'm like, you're
Yeah.
insecure. You're insecure, aren't
Yeah.
you? You don't want to see what like the number because it's so embarrassing. No, I've noticed that a lot, and I just think it's because like if they follow you because of a reel, they probably want to see reels. They probably don't care about like
Yeah.
your pictures and stuff like that.
Yeah, exactly.
Or if they follow you for pictures, maybe they don't want to see your reels. So I don't
Yeah.
know. I'm no expert, but I got a lot of theories.
Yeah. Yo, one thing I saw, I was just flipping through your profile before this. I was like, is there anything I'm missing here? And I saw something crazy. So you just bought a Lambo.
Yes, sir. Yeah, I did. A
How
dream.
how did that, like, too many questions to even
No,
ask.
I'll line it all out for you. So honestly, it is not like this sounds bad. Like it was not as tough as like people think. So basically, I worked my regular day job. I was like a mechanical engineer. I made good money, and then I did TikTok on the side where I made maybe 2 or 3 grand per month while I was doing my day job. So I almost had like two incomes, and at the time I lived at home and pretty much had like no bills. So I did
Oh
that for
yeah.
a year straight. Obviously, I didn't have any bills. I didn't have any like expenses, no kids, no girlfriend, nothing like that. And so I was able to just like stack cash like crazy for a year straight. And also I was able to I did like anything I could to make money. So I would like flip jet skis. I would flip like cars, just like make money anytime, any way I
Damn.
could. I remember during COVID, I made like weights. I made like weights out of concrete and sold them. And I think I made like 10 grand that way, just from like insane
Dude, you
stuff
actually
like
did that?
Yeah, 100%. Like
That's awesome.
it was insane how much, like I used to get $1 per pound for weight. So I would sell like a set of 45s. I had like whole molds and like everything. I would sell a set of 45s for like $100. And I'm like, it was pretty easy
Damn.
work. So I can't believe, I got away with that. That's like insane. Like people were so happy too
I would have
because
paid good money for
yeah,
that, dude.
exactly. They couldn't get stuff anywhere else. So I remember my best day, it was like $830 I sold. It was like insane. So like obviously
Damn.
anything I could do to make money.
Grinding.
Yeah, grinding. At the time, I bought my first Porsche, and I bought that for
Damn.
$2,400, and then
Oh wow.
I fixed it up, did like a couple of stuff, like couple things to it, probably put like $1,000 into it. I got really lucky. I sold that for 10, And then I got
Okay.
my second Porsche, which is a 1999 911, and I bought that for 20, and I sold that one for 27. And so on top of that, and like working full time, and I was able to be like, okay, like I've always wanted like a Lamborghini, like my whole life. Like, look, I got a damn, toy car right here
Oh
on my
shit.
desk, and so that's all I ever wanted. And then I was able to get a loan for a little less than half of the price of the car, and then I just bought it, and then just bought it, which is crazy. But like, it wasn't that much because like my payment right now is like 833 a month, which it's a lot, but it's nothing wild. Like people pay like $700 for like a F-250 or something, so
Yeah.
it's just kind of like what I chose to like spend my money on, and I think I got a really good deal as well, and I think it holds its value really well because it's kind of like the bottom of the depreciation curve. So that's kind of how I made that whole thing happen. It's like all like my whole goal of like making money was to like buy a cool car. Like that's all I've wanted ever since I was a kid.
Really.
So I knew that was like the path I wanted to go my whole life. And I was like super grateful to make it happen. Now I just gotta like keep it because now I gotta like keep this lifestyle up because it's too nice. It's too fun driving it.
Yeah, man. The car looks sick. So I mean,
I
good for you.
appreciate it. It's not crazy new or anything. It's a 2006, so like people think it's brand new, but it looks like
It's a
good to me.
Lamborghini.
Yeah, exactly, exactly. So like that was my
As
dream
as
all
what
along.
as what's his name would say. What color is your Lamborghini?
Yeah, exactly. So that's kind of like my deal. I've always been into cars, and I think I could make like a profit on that car as well if I were to sell it right now.
Damn.
So I tried to buy them. Like it took me 6 months to find like a good deal, like a good car. So like I was looking forever. I would hit people up on like forums, like I would message cold call people, and be like whatever I can do to like get this car. There's not that many of them out there, so I was trying like every single avenue to get one, and then one finally like popped up, and I was like, okay, this is like a good deal. Like let me grab it. So I try to be like responsible financially in that way, as in like I haven't lost money on my other two Porsches, so hopefully I can go 3 for 3 on this one and like make money on it. Even if I own it for like a couple of years and break even, I can't complain. People think it's like the craziest thing to spend money on. Hold on, I'm gonna take my switch off. But yeah, at the end of the day, like I said, I haven't lost money on my other two cars, and if you buy it right, like I shouldn't be out of pocket that much money if I have to sell it, if any.
Damn.
So
That's epic. 'Cause you always think of a car as like a depreciating
exactly,
asset, but I mean,
a
if you can
hundred
make it
percent.
work, then.
If you look
'Cause
at, go ahead.
are you like a car guy? I know you kind of do like motorcycle stuff.
Yeah, I'm 100% like a car guy. It's like all I ever wanted ever since I was a kid. So for sure.
Damn.
But
So you know what you're doing with it.
a little bit. I'm not like crazy into like the motors and the specs and everything. I just like looking at them and like driving them. So I know like I'm very into like the market and like what is doing well and like what's hot as far as like cars go. So I think this one is undervalued, and I think I bought it at like the right time with like the right color, the right spec, and like all this kind of stuff. And I swear, like if you see anyone in like a brand new BMW or like Benz, they will lose more money on their car than I will on my Lamborghini.
Damn. That's interesting, man. I
Yeah.
don't know too much about cars. This is all new to me.
No, of
That's
course.
dope.
It's so
Sounds
funny
cool.
because like I'm so into it. It's like, oh, how does everyone not know this? But it's like, oh, I spend
Yeah,
like every hour of the day like looking at this stuff. So it's funny.
that's wild. That's kind of like what we were saying earlier about lifting.
Hmm.
It's like you think everybody's into this stuff, and then you realize, you
Yeah.
know,
Yeah, exactly. Like my grandma or like people like come over like, oh, what is this thing? I'm like, what do you mean? What is this? Like, how do you not know?
oh, I mean, I feel most people probably recognize a Lamborghini, but
Yeah.
even I know that.
Some people call it like a Ferrari or something. It's
I could see that.
it's
I could probably do that.
the top two brands, But it's just funny. Yeah,
Yeah,
we're in too deep.
yeah. That's crazy, man. Well, congrats.
Thank you. I
Um,
appreciate it.
I think we'd be doing the people a little disservice if we didn't get into some nutrition talk
Well,
here.
let's do it. I'm in.
So you are the self-proclaimed, I don't know if self-proclaimed, the king of diet soda, it seems like.
I am self-proclaimed. No one else has claimed me that.
So you're really all in on the diet soda thing. You drink a lot of it, and you certainly don't seem to have any worries about the health risks. So talk about that.
Yeah, of course. I people think I drink a crazy amount. I probably drink anywhere from 1 to 3 a day. I guess that isn't a lot compared to most people, but I probably drink 1 to 3 a day. And I was like probably like you were back in the day, and I thought diet sodas were bad for you. I thought like energy drinks were terrible for you. And then I like actually finally looked into the research and read up a lot about it, and I found there was zero randomized controlled like trials in humans that show any negative effect of aspartame, like the main sweetener in diet soda, on humans.
Yeah.
And there's even some that show that it helps people lose weight because it cures their sweet tooth. It satisfies that craving. Yeah, I just think there's like too many studies out there that have shown or like suggested that diet soda is safe to consume. And I always see people hit me with like the rebuttal, and they'll send me studies time after time, like, oh, diet soda causes cancer. And I'll actually
Like
take,
rodents.
yeah, or I'll actually take
Like
the time.
bad studies.
Yeah, I'll actually take the time to read it. And most of the time, it is a correlation study. And that will be
Yep.
like, okay, so if you look at it, basically this is what they do. They take like a huge like sample size over like a long period of time, and they'll be like, "Oh, people who drink diet soda are more likely to get cancer," which is true. But people who drink diet soda are also more likely to be smokers, less active, overweight,
Yeah.
like all these pre-existing conditions that you just can't account for long term. So of course, diet soda drinkers are going to get cancer more, and it's just like a correlation does not equal causation. Like I think we all learned that in school a long time ago. So
Yeah.
after seeing those, there's a ton of those out there. There's also a ton of ones where like yeah, like you said, rodent studies where inject like they'll inject sucralose or aspartame like directly into like the rat's brain or something like that at like 2,000 times the normal dose, or yeah, or they'll just give it to them like orally 2,000 times the normal dose, and it's like this isn't
Yeah.
exactly
And rodent
accurate.
studies in general, I think are like 40 to 50% accurate.
Yeah.
Or something like that.
Yeah, I don't know that stat, but yeah, sounds right to me. Or there's like
Maybe I'm making that up, but I'm
it's
pretty
not like
sure
a
that's the case.
one-to-one comparison to humans, and
Yeah,
there's a bunch of
exactly.
like in vitro research or like petri dishes that's like also like it's good evidence, but it's like it's down here when it comes
Right.
to like the hierarchy of evidence. So I've just like read too many studies and too much like I've consumed too much information about it to believe that it is bad for you. If you don't want to drink it, fine. You don't have to drink it. I like it. I think it's fine. Like I provided like all the studies I've like talked about in the past, like stuff that it's even like seems to be fine on your gut microbiome as well. They've done like randomized controlled trials in humans like on that, and that looks like it's okay. Like I said, I'm open to like new research being presented. If it does go the other way, I definitely present that as well and just like read it and be like perceptive. But as of now, I like to drink it, and especially because people who drink regular soda can have a huge health benefit from switching from regular to diet. Like that's like the ideal person, because you're not going to get them to switch from soda to water. Like you're not going to do
Right.
that. They got to have something in between. So even if it's not like as healthy as water, it's better than regular soda. And it's been like, they can lose weight that way. And pretty much every single health marker improves when you lose weight if you're obese. So like pretty much any way you can lose weight is a good thing in my opinion.
Yeah, and I mean, I think maybe to your surprise, I don't disagree with anything you just said. I'm not somebody who's going to pull out
Okay.
some crazy study and try to say that, there's proof that aspartame and sucralose are bad for humans.
Yeah.
So on that note, nothing that you said right there was wrong. I think what it comes down to is basically, like you said, like you're going to drink it, you like it. The way I look at it, I think there's other people who look at it like this. I don't personally think that I'm not personally comfortable because they're still relatively new products, past 20, 30 years and they got approved. So the way I look at it is, I'm not comfortable rolling the dice necessarily.
No, of course.
To include that every day in my diet. Because I think there still could be adverse consequences. And the thing that really bothers me is that there are natural alternatives. You have things like stevia, monk fruit, which have been around for years, come from natural sources. And I know there are diet sodas that use those.
Like Zevia.
So yeah. And I think that, it would be cool if more mainstream brands started using those. But then again, I don't think anybody who drinks diet soda, it's like this proven bad thing. It's more of just, I'm going to err on the side of caution here.
Yeah, for sure. It's funny you
not
say
even
that
me.
thing about like stevia and monk fruit, because there's actually more evidence suggesting that aspartame and sucralose are safe than there is stevia and monk fruit. And that's not saying that those two are bad. Not at all. It's just that there's more evidence. Like sucralose and aspartame have been studied more. And those have been like in all the studies that like come out, there's like more evidence showing or suggesting that they're safety. But I believe wholeheartedly that monk fruit and like stevia are great sweeteners as well, like with that very little adverse effects. But that's just something I had to throw out there.
I hear you, man. I've gotten that argument a few times. I mean, I have to take a deeper look into the research on artificial sweeteners and whatnot.
I mean, you're definitely not hurting anything by just drinking water. You're not hurting yourself by sticking to water or LaCroix.
I will say that. I will say though, as a kid, my family was big on diet soda, so like I was drinking a ton of it, and my parents still are. But I used to love like Diet Mountain Dew, Diet Coke, all that stuff. So
I think the worst thing about those more than anything is the caffeine amount in those things, because people don't realize like, so regular like Diet Coke has I think like 46 or 44 milligrams of caffeine. A Diet Mountain Dew has 67 milligrams of caffeine, I believe, which is not a small amount. Like energy drinks start at like 150 or so. So if you have 2 of those, that's like close to an energy drink. Like I think a 3D is like 200 milligrams. So yeah, and that's that's like something people don't realize is the caffeine in diet soda. Like my old boss, the one at the construction company, I'm not exaggerating, he would drink 20 to 25 Diet Cokes a day. He didn't have water. So he would legit like go up before the morning and fill up like his big gulp from like, AM, PM of Diet Coke. And he would just like, he would have a 12er in his truck throughout the day. And he would talk about how if he woke up on weekends late, he would get headaches. And I was like, oh, that's for sure because of the caffeine, dude. You haven't had your Diet Coke yet. Because let's say on average, just like a general number, 50 milligrams of caffeine, and he drank 20 cans, that's a gram of caffeine a day. That's 1,000 milligrams, which is, you don't even realize. Like, I guarantee he has no idea. I guarantee he has no idea he's consuming that much caffeine.
Yeah, I mean, that's interesting because sometimes I do see people like they'll like be about to go to bed and they'll have a diet soda and I'll be like, like that's got caffeine in it. And I think like it's kind of crazy that people do that and don't even think about it, which is nuts.
No, 100%. Like I try to stay away from all caffeinated diet sodas in general, just because when I'm drinking diet sodas, it's usually at dinner or with a meal. And like, it's like, I don't want the energy, especially if it's late at night. I try to be very, very, like vigilant of my caffeine intake. I try to keep it really low. One, because I want my pre-workout to still hit when I go to lift. I don't want to be one of those like stimulant junkies who has to have like 500 milligrams to feel anything. Yeah. And second of all, it's just like best for your sleep. And I'm like a big sleep guy as well. So the latest I'll have caffeine is like usually is at like my nighttime workout will be like 5 p.m. And that's like, and then I'll go to bed.
You have pre-workout at 5 p.m.
Yeah. Does that sound late to you?
Yeah, I mean, because I work out at night too, and that's kind of the reason I never take pre-workout. Because I mean, I have my last cup of coffee around like noon, 1. So even if I have a cup of coffee.
Do you take anything pre-workout, like any sort of supplement, or if you tried like non-stim ones? You can always go. Like for someone like you, I would suggest getting so Gorilla Mode makes like a nitric, which is the non-stimulant, no caffeine, and then like the regular mode, which is caffeinated. Getting like 2 of those, and then you can always just like mix. Be like, okay, I feel like maybe 50 milligrams today. I'll just like guesstimate and be like, okay, I'll do half a scoop of this, and then it'll give me just a little bit. It gets you up a little bit rather than nothing.
I've thought about it. I have to like look into pre-workouts. It's really just never been something like when I first went to the gym, I used it as kind of like a motivation to get going. Like, I get to do some friggin'
you get all hyped and stuff.
But since then, once I kind of realized it's like, I could just drink coffee, which I already drink a lot of.
Yeah.
I stopped using it. But it's something I've definitely thought about, especially the non-stim ones. I'll take a look. I'll take a look at the Gorilla Modes. If I do use it, I'll use code NARC?
Yes. I would highly recommend it. I've actually lifted longer without pre-workout than I did with pre-workout. I think I've only taken pre-workout for 3 years. And it just made it, especially after work. Like I was a little tired, like fatigued, just like mental fatigue. And I have not gone to the gym tired in like 3 years because of that, which is a huge thing, of course. Which is amazing. And I just think it has a lot of benefits as far as like the pump goes, because basically you want to draw in as much water like into your body as possible, because muscular hydration is directly related to exercise performance. So that's why people, if you've ever seen people take like salt pre-workout, I know marathon runners, my mom runs marathons, she takes like salt tablets. It's because you want to suck in all this water you can, because it just helps you perform better. It reduces fatigue, stuff like that. So if you're able to get a pre-workout with like those pump factors, and even without like caffeine or a stimulant, I think it's still beneficial to you for sure. Like if I had a workout the other day, I wanted to experiment with it. I didn't take any like pump products, and I 100% noticed a difference in like my workout, my intensity, how like I fatigued earlier, basically stuff like that. All stuff that's helping you like push harder in the gym, which helps you hopefully build more muscle.
Dude, it's funny you say that, because I think like a week ago, when I go to the gym, I'll always have carbs, protein if I didn't have a big protein meal earlier, and I'll always have salt. And always have water. And one day I forgot the salt, like last week, and I was like, it probably won't be that big of a deal.
Yeah.
And like, I'd never been so flat. Like, I just looked in the mirror and I was like, damn, I'm like small.
Yeah, I did a video about that a while ago. Not a while ago, maybe last week. Is that like people tend to have worse workouts in the morning, like 5 a.m., because they're not fully hydrated, because they just got up. You know, they wake up and they go to the gym right away. And for me to hydrate, I probably need to have 80 ounces or so till I fully like hydrate my body. And like, that's probably maybe two of these. And most people don't have like 2 of these before they go to the gym. And I never realized, if I drink the night before and go work out in the morning, I can feel it. Like, oh my God, like I'm dehydrated. Like I'm not properly, you know, my joints aren't properly.
If you drink alcohol?
Yeah, exactly.
Oh.
If I drink alcohol the night before, I'll be super dehydrated. That's why you look leaner after like a night out.
Oh yeah. You can like, you look in the mirror and you're shredded at the time.
It's a diuretic. You got no water in you.
Yeah, but then those calories will catch up with you.
No, for sure. I've always seen that. People are like, I don't know why I'm always lean when I'm out drinking, and they think it's a horrible feedback loop. They think they're up to something, you know?
Yeah,
they think they're onto some performance enhancer.
Dude, I did a video about how alcohol was the worst thing you can eat in terms of like gaining weight. It's like the most fattening food. That was what it was. Alcohol is the most fattening food. First of all, people were mad because alcohol isn't a food.
Yeah.
It's like, I legitimately had people like, yo, like tell that to alcoholics. You ever seen a fat alcoholic? I was like, dude, like this is like all the time.
Yeah.
Like, you ever heard of a beer belly?
Yeah, exactly. No, 100%. It's the worst thing for you. I was, how old are you, by the way? I don't know if I ever asked.
I'm at the age where I start forgetting my age. I'm 26. What about you?
I'm 26 as well. So like I've slowed down these past couple of years. Obviously I hit like 21, 22, and I would go like crazy out with my friends like twice a week or so. You know how it is. And now it's just like the hangovers got so bad. Like they got brutal. And so that's like a huge deterrent. And then I also got like really into the gym and like working out and like this whole fitness stuff. So I've kind of like reduced that. And obviously my friends don't go out anymore because we're not like 22. So I probably only drink once every other month, if that or so.
Yeah.
That's kind of like my frequency. I got nothing wrong with it. Like every time I go out, it's like a great time. We got those hangovers, dude. I be having like 2 dares now. Like they be leaking over to
it's
the next
brutal
day.
Sometimes if I go out on a Friday, then it's just that sluggishness the next day. Sunday, it takes a while to get back in the rhythm.
Yes, that's another thing. Like that also really slowed me down was when I was working. I could not go out on Saturday because obviously I'd be hungover Sunday and still a little off on Monday. So I'd have to go out Friday, and then that would like ruin my whole weekend.
Legit.
I was doing shit. Like I wasn't doing anything else the whole weekend. So that really slowed me down.
26 is a scary one. I remember like when I turned 26, it was like that was the first age where I was like, people would ask me how old I am, and I'm like,
oh shit,
26. Because like 25, you can kind of round that down. It's like, you know, college age type shit. 26,
you could be a super senior.
30. yeah.
No,
crazy.
I feel you too because I don't know if you feel this way, but like I still feel like 21 in my head. Like I don't think I've really like I still feel young and like fit. Like weird.
I was watching a video the other day, I think yesterday actually, where it was like somebody was like how it feels to be 70, and they were like, I feel like I'm a 21-year-old still.
Oh, it's just gonna last
kind of
forever.
Crazy. Yeah.
That's it probably will last forever. You're right. Like now that we're all adults, like I guess we're not like changing at all. I'm just gonna feel this young, but my body's gonna get older. That's a scary thought for sure. I need to we need to soak up the last bit of like youth we have. But yeah, we're adults now. Like we got bills and shit. We got everything. You know.
I mean, when you think about it, if you're to 30-something-year-olds, 26 is young, and then once we're 30, that'll be young to a 40-year-old. So you just gotta think about it that way.
I know my parents are around 65, and they'll see someone who's like 40, and they're like, oh, they're young.
Yeah.
What do you mean?
My parents. Whenever I tell my mom, whenever I'm saying something about how old I am, my mom will say with her Boston accent something about, man, like 27, 26, that's young. The things I would do to be 26.
Yeah. That's true. The things like that old people would do to be like young, healthy, and just like still have like their full body potential, you know, their full physicality. Yeah. So we got to soak it up while we can because it won't be like this forever.
Man, we young.
And like that reminds me of another thing. Like I remember hitting 25 and I was like, holy shit. Like I thought my physical prime would slow down. Like you had to be on the downhill, you know, but I didn't realize like your physical prime for lifting is somewhere in the 30s. So like we're not.
You see bodybuilders who are just getting started in their 30s.
Yeah, like muscular size and like your strength isn't till like somewhere in your 30s. And I thought I'd be already on the downhill. So I was like, oh, that's kind of like nice that we still have let's say 5-10 years of like growth and like performance.
Yeah.
That's awesome to hear.
Let me ask you this: Have you ever thought about competing? Because I know you have
Ooh.
a very good physique.
Oh, thank you. I've thought about in the past. I don't have any desire right now, but I might next summer because it sounds like a lot of my friends are going to compete in like one of the summer shreddings next summer, and I think
Yeah.
that like if all my friends are doing it, I'm not going to not do it. I
Yeah.
get peer pressured into doing it, so because like I cut every year just for summertime, just to look like
Yeah.
better around the beach and shit. So I've thought about it. What about you?
So I really haven't like bodybuilding's never been like something that's like piqued my interest, but I feel like it's gotten to a point where like people come up to me at the gym like, oh, do you compete? Like, oh, bro, like you could like do this, that, and I'm like, damn, like I don't know, like maybe if I know I could do it, if I could do it, like I kind of don't want to grow up and think like what if,
Yeah.
but like at the same time, like I'm natural and like I know like, I'd be doing natural competitions and that whole it gets complicated with that.
Yeah, I think you should know. You're talking about me having a good physique. You have an incredible physique as well. I remember seeing like your shoulders
Appreciate
a
that.
while back, and I was like, "Holy shit, bro! No wonder this guy's wearing a stringer. He doesn't have like he'd be hugging his sleeves." No, you should for 100% compete. Especially, have you ever done like what's the leanest you think you've ever gotten?
Dude, I don't think I've even really got that close. I think like I'm not like I don't
Yeah,
know body fats like
people are
that.
bad about estimating body fat, but what do you
Yeah.
think? What do you estimate?
Dude, I don't think I've ever really been like single digits.
Yeah.
I think I might be I think that's my goal for right now because I usually once I get down to a comfortable body fat, like I'm more about like functional overall health. So
Yeah.
once I feel good and like I like kind of maintaining that weight, but I don't know, since just like recently I've been thinking about just taking it to the next level and just seeing how far I can go.
I think you
'Cause I know I
should.
could.
I think you 100% should. Obviously, you have like a great physique, and I just think like you learned a lot about yourself during like a cut or like seeing what your body can do, and just like seeing how far
Yeah.
you can push it and how far you can go. I think you would learn a lot, and you'd be like very impressed with yourself, and you would never regret it. Like once you like get on stage and like
Oh
see
yeah.
those stage
Get
shots,
that
you'd be
picture.
hyped. Yeah, you got that picture, bro. You can do now. You competed, bro. You're different from like everyone else in the gym. I think you should also do it. This also means that
Yeah.
I should do it. I'm talking to
Yeah,
myself
man.
right now too.
All
I
right, let's
think
both do it.
I think I'll have to next summer. I got to commit. I also kind of want to do it. I think it'd be really fun for myself to do a series and try to like do it all by myself, like without a coach, and just like seeing what I can find online and kind of documenting my process because like I can cut pretty efficiently, pretty effectively, but as far as like the peak week stuff,
Bodybuilding,
like
yeah,
you
I know nothing
manipulate
about
stuff
that.
like crazy. Like you cut out carbs on this day and cut out sodium, then you rehydrate on this day and sodium, but then you cut out water. There's like all these different factors that goes into like peaking for that one singular day. That is like very complicated, and I think a lot of people fail at that. And I would like to just try that by myself, just based on like what's on the internet, and hopefully like teach other people the way.
That's another thing. I feel like there's not that much information about that because sometimes I get curious when I see people doing their
Yeah,
bodybuilding stuff and I kind of look up like what's carb loading, what's this all mean.
yeah.
I know TNF has done a lot of good content about that because I know he's coached people through that. He
Hmm.
obviously did it, but yeah, it's interesting. There's like a lot to it because I mean everybody who's going out for those shows like they're all shredded, but sometimes it just comes down to at the last minute fucking something up. Like if you what's
No,
it called
100%.
spilling over or some
Yeah,
shit.
you eat like too much, you
Yeah.
eat the wrong like carb source. You come in like flat. You come in like not carved up. Like yeah, it can like I don't even know that much about it, but I think the last day you can lose like 3% body fat. Like you'll look 3% leaner if you do it right versus if you don't do it right. So that's like a huge,
Wow.
a huge
Yeah.
range. So if you mess it up, you're 3% like that's the difference between like winning in like last place almost or something sometimes. So yeah, there's definitely a lot that goes into it. And you're right. Like I tried to look it up before too. It's tough to find good information like spelled out. And like people have different opinions on like the way to do it also. So it's tough to find like
Yeah.
accurate information.
Yeah, it's definitely interesting. I think the one thing that kind of scares me is like me being who I am and working a full-time job and like being busy all the time, being at that level of body fat. Cause it's like at the end of the day, it's not healthy. Like I'm
Yeah,
not gonna
100%.
like, you hear horror stories about these people like can't even get out of bed.
No,
So I'm trying to think
100%.
like,
That is a terrible. Like the biggest thing for me when I cut last time, I obviously didn't get anywhere near stage lean or something like that, but I dealt with a ton of brain fog. Like I could not critical think to save my life. It was terrible. Like I could not put thoughts together. And yeah, if you have to deal with something like that, that for me is like the worst thing. Like I'll deal with the hunger, I'll deal with like the cravings, anything, but just to feel stupid and like not there 24/7 was very tough for me.
yeah, that's the
Yeah,
spooky part, dude. Cause like, it's like I'm at work and I'm sitting
yeah,
here, um, brain fog. That sounds
No,
kind of
100%.
scary, but might have to just tough it out.
There's ways to like mediate it and like make it so it's not like that. You just have to figure out what works for you. Like some people do really well with low fat. Some people they need more fat, and like that's I think what caused my brain fog. Another thing is like sodium. Like I was low on electrolytes, so I started supplementing with electrolytes. That helped a lot. So yeah, it's kind of like you got to find. You'll definitely like feel it, and then you'll find what works for you and what doesn't.
Dude, I think that low fat diets are way too popular because I think that people have this misconception that like because it's called fat that like fat makes you fat, that like the lower the fat the better. So I see people like doing full days of eating and their macros are like 5 grams of fat in a day, which is like crazy because like fat is essential. Like you need it to function, you need it for your organs, you need it for your brain health.
Yeah, 100%. Even I think in my last cut, I was around 40 grams of fat a day, and even that took a toll on me. And I upped it, like after I figured that out, I upped it to like 60 at least. Yeah, people don't realize like, yeah, low fat diets will make you feel terrible. They will make you feel awful. You need those like essential fats for like proper hormone function. Yeah, I'm with you. I think that's why next time I do a cut, I'm gonna do obviously super high protein, high fat, and try to do like lower carbs, just because like I got to take the calories from somewhere, so I'll probably just lower my carbs.
Yeah, dude, I've been doing a diet lately that's been like insane. So I've been cutting and it's been like the easiest it's ever been for me to cut.
Really?
Basically what I've been doing is 1.4 grams of protein per pound of body weight. So I've been having 250 plus grams of protein per day.
Yeah.
So like my meals are just like I'll have like 16 egg whites, 4 whole eggs, like a bunch of butter, like very low carbs. I use carbs to fuel my workout, to recover, and then like vegetables, fruits here and there.
Yeah.
But then I'm just having a fuck ton of protein. And like I just feel completely full all the time.
Satisfied. That's all. I think that's definitely the way I'm gonna try it next time. That's kind of like what TNF showed me that way as well, and I kind of did it like not half-assed, but I still had a bunch of carbs because I just had more room. I just had more room to work with last year. But I'm definitely gonna go super high protein and high fat next year and see how it goes. Yeah, I've heard great things about it too. Like especially coming from you, from a bunch of other of my friends who have tried it, and yeah, it seemed to work really well for them. So I'm gonna go that route.
Yeah, I mean, not even from like it's like not like when I say low carb, it's not even from like a keto perspective of like
No,
entering
100%.
ketosis, but more just like, okay, I want to eat a ton of protein, but I got to lower something because we only have so many calories to work with. So I want to keep my fat high. So all right, carbs are gonna have to go.
Yeah, exactly. It's not like we're choosing them like because they're bad or anything. It's just like something's got to give, you know?
Yeah. I think with calories, there's always that thing. I think I once had a debate with you where it was like you said like the burger and there was like a graphic where it was like the burger and fries was 1,000 calories and then the salad was.
I vaguely remember. Yeah.
Basically, it was like a salad was more calories than a burger. So you had said the burger and fries is better for weight loss than the salad. And I think that nowadays there's this like fixation on calories. And so like, and like whenever I get into this topic, people are always like, yo, like he's denying calories in, calories out. It's like, no, I'm not. Like I understand how that works. I think everybody does. But like, I think a lot of people like just think like, okay, if I take what I'm currently eating and I lower the calories, then, you know, I'll be able to lose weight, which obviously you can. But like, I think for like sustainability and long term, it's important to like switch up your diet. Because if you're somebody who's overweight at some point, like you're doing something wrong with I don't think you're just overeating. There's a reason you're overeating. So I think it's important to consider the quality of the food.
I think definitely that's a lot of reason why people have like a ton of issues is because the quality of their food is so low. But I'm gonna take like the other end and be like, okay, let's say you love burgers, you have a burger from McDonald's every day. What if you go home and make a lean burger with like 93.7 ground beef, use some like fat-free cheese, you know, you do all this other stuff, like you put some lettuce, tomatoes on there. I think that's the best way to lose weight because you don't have to compromise a food you love. And red meat is still like super micronutrient dense. So like that's just one example. Or let's say you like pizza. You can make a lower calorie pizza with like fat-free cheese, you know, some like turkey pepperoni, stuff like that. I don't think there's anything wrong with that. I think that's kind of like the best way to die, especially for someone who's like overweight and obese and just has that problem giving up the food that they love. Like that's another big thing I talk about with dieting all the time. Like there's a reason why these fat people aren't eating chicken broccoli rice every day. It's because they can't. They know what they need to do to lose weight, but that stuff sucks for them. They won't stick to it. So like to get them to stick to something, I think that's a great way for a lot of people to lose weight. Not for everyone, but I think that for a lot of people.
I agree with everything you said except for the fat-free cheese. I think fat-free cheese is disgusting. I think you should
That's
just
funny
eat
you
the
say
full
that.
fat cheese.
I've gone away, definitely since like I made the videos with you in the past. I've gone away from a lot of fat-free, lower calorie products. One, because they're hella expensive, and it's just like ridiculously expensive. They don't taste as good. Fat-free cheese does suck. It never melts, and it's just like I'll make the room. I don't like I'm in a surplus right now, so I have zero problems with hunger. So I never buy that fat-free stuff anymore because I don't have any problem. I've got calories to spare, you know.
Yeah.
And now when I'm cutting, I'm gonna be doing stuff like you, where I eat like super high protein, high fat stuff. So it's gonna be mostly eggs, steak, and like, super high micronutrient density stuff. So I don't know if I'll ever go back to that like low calorie like cheese or stuff like that. You know?
Yeah, I mean, I think you make a good point because I mean, you can make anything healthy, really. I mean, because like you think about a burger and fries, really, like that could be super unhealthy or that could be like very healthy. Because if you go to like I don't know TGI Fridays and you get a, some shitty bun and then super fatty, low quality feedlot beef and some cheese product, processed cheese, and then fries that are soaked in grapeseed oil.
Yeah.
In comparison to, you have, like you said, a leaner cut of beef,
Make your fries out of
unprocessed
potatoes.
cheese. Yeah, just make the fries out of potatoes. Potatoes are good. And I think a lot of people are always like, I think you've made videos on this too, but I used to always talk about this. Like people are always like, oh, if potatoes are healthy, why are French fries unhealthy? And it's like French fries don't have to be unhealthy. It's because they're being
Deep
fried
fry 'em.
in
Yeah.
they're being fried in all sorts of oils. Whereas like if you air fry them, and they can actually be super helpful in a cut. Like when I like cut down and lost 35 pounds, I was eating potatoes every single day, French fries basically, and it was just I was feeling so full from that as a carb source.
I think a baked potato is the number one most satiating food according to like the satiety index. So that's like
That
the
study.
number one. So it's like, what do you need? Like, what more information do you need? I've had like, yeah, baked potatoes before, they fill you up. I have fries pretty much every day. I was just eating French fries earlier. I just get like the ones in the bag, or I had golden fries. They're 90 calories per serving, and I have like one or two, and they're that's what works for me because it's super easy. But I've also done the like cut up potatoes, so I'll make like potato wedges, or I'll make fries, or I'll make just like little like crescents. Yeah, just throw them in, put some seasonings on them, throw them in the air fryer in like 15 minutes. They're done, and they're delicious, and they're hella cheap too.
Yeah, damn. That's potatoes are definitely a cheat code. I feel bad for anybody who doesn't include potatoes in their diet.
No, I'm on potatoes over rice any day.
Yeah, for sure. Depends on the context. Sometimes you gotta squeeze in the rice. Rice is easier. I hate taking out the air fryer and doing all that shit.
Yeah, that's true. I've been eating rice lately. I've been making like a fried rice for dinner, and just because, like I said, I'm not doing like cauliflower rice anymore because I have so many calories to work with. It's like, oh, might as well just go with jasmine rice. Like my roommate bought a bag. It's like this big for like $20 maybe a year ago, and it'll last for like a year or two because there's so much of it. It's so cheap, and it's
So
like
much of it, so cheap
easy.
too. Yeah,
Yeah, literally
so
cook
easy.
it maybe like once a week, once every other week. We got a rice cooker. I'll cook like a big batch and I'll just throw it in the fridge. Because fried rice, like I think authentic fried rice is supposed to be made with day old rice anyway, so it's perfect.
Oh, really? I didn't even know that.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure it does something with the starches or something. It's always like leftover rice. Yeah.
Wow, that's interesting. I didn't know that. Yo, one thing that I got from you, or not, I didn't get from you, but I heard from you for the first time was the app. Because I remember when I stitched you on that broccoli thing, you said something like yo, like I put it into Chronometer, and I was like, what
Chronometer.
the fuck is that? And then like a year later, I came across it and I looked at it and I was like, dude, this is like way better than my Pal.
That's funny. Yeah, I have it up right here. I always keep it up because it's like a white screen, and so it like illuminates me. But yeah, chronometer is great stuff.
Yeah, I literally had it in another tab. That's why I brought it up. But yeah, dude, like especially if you're trying to focus on your health, like you can go in here and you can look at each individual thing and see exactly what nutrients is giving you. So I mean, for somebody who's just trying to get into health and whatnot, that can give you a ton of just
information,
like exposure and insight.
Yeah, that's something I've been trying to focus on more as well. It's just like maximizing my micronutrients, like I said. So this is a great tool to use. And it's funny you say that. I just had like a meeting with them the other day because I've been trying to work with them forever. Like you said, you learned them from me. I've been using them for years. Yeah. It's like I've been doing free promo forever. Let's make something happen. Let's get paid. So like for the first time I had a meeting with them. So hopefully I can work with them. But yeah, it is a great tool in in my opinion, way better than MyFitnessPal. Because did you hear MyFitnessPal
Yeah,
just
the
put the
barcode
the
thing.
barcode behind a
Yeah,
paywall. You can never
yeah.
take back something that was previously free. That is like the number one
People
golden rule.
people had a fit about that
I
on
mean,
TikTok.
you can't do it. That's like a immortal sin. Is if it's free now, you can never put it behind a paywall because like this is what's gonna
Yeah.
happen. I remember when that news dropped. I made a video just on chronometer and be like, oh, this is what I use instead. It's not behind a paywall, and that video got like 300,000 views. And of course, that's the one I showed to like these chronometer people that I'm like, yo, I made this before. We can make something happen. And like, whoa, this is great. This is cool.
I think I did the same thing. I think I made a stitch and I was like, yo, like MyFitnessPal was bullshit anyways. You should check out this chronometer thing. That one got a ton
Yeah.
of views too.
Did you know
Yeah, man.
you can customize your like summer or your targets? So I customize my calories. Like it's super easy. It's just in the back end, but most people don't know about it. So I have it set to like, oh, I need to eat 2,800 calories right now because I'm in a surplus, and I want to get in 170 grams of protein. And it like fills. Those are like your targets now. Because like I know MyFitnessPal was always kind of like a percentage, or if like you're bulking or cutting, it would put
Yeah.
numbers for you. But for here, I can put like whatever numbers I want, which is nice.
A lot of stuff was like a lot of stuff in MyFitnessPal is like locked, like you had to upgrade for it. Like also the UI on the computer is way better with chronometer. Like I can go in here on the computer, I can like drag and drop stuff and
That's funny you say that
like
because I only enter my stuff on desktop. I never even mess with the app. Yeah, it's so convenient. You just like look it up, type
I
it in.
love
Like,
that.
yeah, it's
Because I'll be in here like about to cook breakfast and I'm just like, all right, like what am I gonna have? And I'm
yeah.
like, all
You
right, like
enter it
I'll
in.
do
That's
it
me.
here.
I cook it up, and before I eat, I'll be like, okay, 60 grams of egg whites. What I have, 112 grams of steak.
Yeah.
So yeah, that's funny. You mentioned that because I don't know many other people who use it, and just to have like that same exact experience, I'll let them know because yeah, it's a lot tougher to use on the app for sure.
Yeah. Yeah. It's good though. It's solid. That's sick that you're working with them.
Not yet. Well, hopefully.
Or in the works, in the works.
First step, bro. They'd be dumb not to work with me. I'm the chronometer guy. What are they talking about,
Yeah,
bro?
man.
Pay me already.
Hey man, so we're about at the 90-minute mark almost. This has been a fire conversation. Definitely some really cool stuff I learned about you and kind of your journey up and what you've been doing. So I appreciate you coming on.
Yeah, of course. I'd be down to do it again if we get, someone else canceling in a month or so. I'd be down. Yeah, I love talking. Like I said, I want to do
Hey
like my
man,
own podcast one day, so it's nothing but practice.
you should, bro. You should. Like honestly, it's a great way to just get on with people and network,
Yeah.
get to know people, and I'm hopefully gonna my plan is to chop this up and get some short form content out of it. So kills a lot of birds with one stone.
No, for sure. And then hopefully I could have you on mine, and that way you do all the talking. I feel like I talk way too much this time. Like I feel like I do the majority of it.
Yeah, nah, I hear you. Yeah, that'd be fun, man. It's fun. Definitely let me know if you want to do it. If you have questions about the setup and whatnot, I got you.
Oh, for sure. Yeah, your quality is amazing. So I'll definitely be hitting you up for some info.
Yeah, man, it's a process getting it started. You are on. You have the same stuff on every platform.
Yeah,
You're
same stuff on every platform. It's just the Nutrition Narc, NARC. Like I'm a snitch on you if you got a boring ass diet. Like that's what it is. People think it meant like narcissist, and I was like, no. Or people thought like the nutrition Mark. Like they thought my name was Mark. I was like, no. How do you not get it? It's Narc.
low key. I was gonna ask you how you came up with that. Was that just kind of one of those?
It was so I originally came up with it because I didn't want like my in real life friends to find me. I didn't want it to be like Blake Fit.
Wow.
And because like first of all, everyone is like whatever fit. Like I just want to like be something different. I'm tired of like the same stuff. I thought it was a funny like play on words, and I didn't want my friends to find me. And of course now it does well. No one knows my real name, so that's kind of why I came up
Damn.
with it. Because like I'm kind of obviously in the nutrition space as well, and I think like the nutrition space is a lot more important personally than like the
Yeah.
lifting. Like, and that's
100%.
like the kind of content I do as well. So it's like, and not many people at the time did like mostly nutrition stuff. I actually started, I
Right.
think, like a long time before TNF. So he's obviously came up and like popularized it as well. So that's kind of how I got my name. How'd you get your name? So like your last name or something?
Sillz. Yeah. So it's abbreviation of my last name.
Gotcha.
Obviously, don't want to use my full name on here, but that's been actually kind of crazy. So that's always been my nickname when I was a kid. I used to do like rap music.
Oh shit.
Under the name A Sillz. A Sillz, my first initial Sillz.
Yeah.
And then once I got into this, I just shortened it to Sillz,
Oh,
just
there
kind of
you go.
over time.
I
So
like
that's
it.
always been what people call me.
Like it convenient.
It's easy. And then
You remember?
actually,
No one else has a
when
name?
I was when I was first on TikTok, it was A_Sillz, and I found the user that had Sillz, and it was like a girl, and I DM'd her. She was probably like, I don't know, like 15. I DM'd her like, yo, like I'll Venmo you $50 for this name. And she was like, are you serious? Like, no way. And I was like, yeah. And like,
Did she give it to you?
I was like, I'll send you 25. You've changed the name. I'll send you the next 25. And then she did it. And I was
No
like, damn,
way.
all right, here we go.
That's
now
so
I locked down Sillz.
funny. I swear I've heard like famous people talk about that, and they never have any success with it. They try to get these ads of like, whatever, and they'll offer them like whatever you want, and people just don't care. And it's like I never heard of anyone get their username. That's cool though. Good for you.
It was wild, especially on an app like TikTok where the DMs are kind of shot. Like you would think like maybe that would work on Instagram.
Yeah, you can't even like DM nowadays. I don't think like you can't
Yeah.
send DMs to people you don't follow, which is weird because it didn't used to
Yeah.
be like that. You used to be able to get DM requests. Funky.
Right. Yeah. So
They'd be
I took
taking
advantage
away
of it while it
features. They used to be able to pin comments. You can't pin comments anymore. Weird.
Yeah, Instagram, TikToks. I don't know. They had kind of a chokehold on the game for a little bit, but lately we'll have to see.
We'll see how it goes.
It was bad. So it was sorry. So I interrupted you. Is the Nutrition Narc
Yeah, just they're everywhere.
on TikTok, Instagram,
Yes, sir.
YouTube?
Yes, same thing.
Gotcha. All right, guys. Well, everybody, make sure to give him a follow. He makes great content, and yeah, man. Hopefully, you'll be seeing me on his podcast soon.
Hey, we'll get there.
Hey, brother. Thanks for coming on, man.
Anytime. I'll see you later.
Later, man.